in flagrante delicti on the bed. Okay, one of the major commitments in my job was to go to the Chicago furniture market twice a year, in January and in June. And it was a whole week event, and I went usually for 4 or 5 days, beginning on Saturday, because Sunday morning we had a big sales meeting where salesmen from all over the country came in and worked with their customers who were furniture manufacturers who had showrooms at the furniture market. During the course of the week, it was a very busy time, and you were walking downstairs to see this customer and that customer. By 5 o'clock, you were pretty exhausted. And what used to happen is most of us gather in the suite of one of the salesmen for drinks and talk about stories, what happened during the day. And then there was always this contest between two of our salesmen, a guy named Art Gittleson from Los Angeles and Dave Axon from New York. They were both very funny men. Arnie is the kind of a guy that if he said good morning to me, I'd roll on the floor laughing. He had a talent. He could have been a stand-up comedian, but instead he became a millionaire selling our plastic. During this week, 1 week, he told probably what I thought was a very funny story. And I couldn't remember all of them, but I would remember some of them and bring them home and use them myself after that. And this particular story I remember, but it's part of an incident that I consider the funniest moment of my life. The story is about a guy who's a presser, who pressed machines in the garment industry in New York. All day long he stands at that machine pressing garments. And it's a pretty boring job, except for 2 weeks in July when the factory closes down. And he goes to the Lake Kiamisha Hotel in the Catskills for 2 weeks. He was a nice-looking, unmarried guy, and he went up to look at the merchandise and to have a wonderful time. On one such evening, he is at the Lake Kiamisha Hotel. After dinner, he's out on the porch looking over the merchandise, and he sees a very comely-looking young lady, approaches her, they start a conversation, they get along beautifully. He invites her into the bar for a drink, and then up to his room for a little intimate dancing, and then the camera turns toward the ceiling like they used to do it in Hollywood. Okay. It's now a couple of weeks later, he's back at the pressing machine, pressing away, when his name, Sam Goldstein, would you please report to the front office? He leaves his machine, he goes to the front office, where he is confronted by a gentleman with a corporate black suit and a briefcase. He says, "You Mr. Goldstein?" He says, "Yes." He opens the case and he brings out an 8x10 glossy picture, puts it down. "Are you the Mr. Goldstein in this photo that was taken on July the 9th at the Lake Kiamisha Hotel?" He looks, he says, yeah, that's me. Takes out another glass. Are you the Mr. Goldstein in this photograph at the Lake Kamisha Hotel on the night of July 9th, having a drink for this young lady in the bar of the hotel? He looks, he says, yeah, that's me. Takes out another one. Are you the Mr. Goldstein in this photograph dancing with this lady in your room at the Lake Yamisha Hotel on the night of July 9th? Yes, he says, that's me. Takes out another. Are you the Mr. Goldstein in flagrante delicti on the bed of your room at the Lake Yamisha Hotel on the night of July 9th? He looks and he says, yes, that's me. He said, Mr. Goldstein, I represent the lawyer of the husband of this young lady, and he wants to know what your intentions are. Mr. Goldstein looks at him and looks at the pictures, and he says, I'll tell you what, I'll take a half a dozen of these and a half a dozen of these, but give me a dozen of these. I like this one. Okay, that's the story. About a month later, I'm back at my office in Lawrence, Mass. And I get a memo from Arnie Gittleson, the guy who told the story, from Los Angeles. And in it, he tells me that his company, Morgan Fabrics, has been given the El Paso, Texas area as an additional sales territory. And what he wants me to know is there is a building that they had to buy that is located in such a position that it intersects, or at the head of, where two interstate highways are going to intersect. And that building is right there facing the two highways. And he's trying to tell me what a terrific place that would be for a Big G, General Tire, the company we work for, sign, and underneath Morgan Fabrics. Well, I look at it, I know the guy's trying to get a sign at our company's expense, and I ignore it. About 3 weeks later, I had to be in Arnie's office in LA. We had a meeting in his office. He starts bugging me. Hey, Dave, why don't you, I sent you a memo about the building in El Paso. Come on. I says, Arnie, wait till we have a coffee break. So as soon as we have a coffee break of the meeting with the jobbers, he grabs me by the necktie, pulls me across the office to his desk, and he says, Dave, geez, Arnie, look, I get all kinds of memos. What was it about? Oh, he says, the building. And he opens the door and he takes out Polaroid pictures. Look at this one. It's taken from the south going north, and they say that 42 million automobiles are going to be passing. Now here's a picture from the other side. He says going east and west, and they say 23 million. And here's another picture right straight ahead. And he says, come on, Dave, it was a terrific place for a sign. What do you say? And I looked at him, and I was about to say, I'll take a half a dozen of these, but both of us started screaming, laughing, and rolling on the floor. And the jobber looking over to see two grown men absolutely rolling on the floor. And that was, I think, the funniest moment of my whole career.